Hello Disney friends, and welcome to Dole Whip a Day, a place where we talk Disney. But not only do we talk Disney, we talk about how Disney can be used as inspiration for recovery in your life. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Rebecca, and I would just like to say that whether you are in eating disorder recovery, some other type of recovery, struggling with your mental health, or just a person who loves Disney, all are welcome at this channel. In today's video, I'm going to give you 10 symptoms and warning signs that a person may have an eating disorder. I feel very strongly about this video because last week was National Eating Disorder Awareness Week, and I think that if we're going to raise awareness for disorders, we should also help people understand what to look out for when it comes to whether or not a person may or may not have an eating disorder. Before we do that, I want to show you guys some fun Disney items that I have that will be part of a giveaway. Stick around for the end of this video and you'll find out how to enter the giveaway. The first item that I have is this adorable Simba plushie. So he's not a Disney Parks item or anything like that, but he is very, very cute. So that's one of the items. And the other item that you could win in the giveaway is a set of 3 Mickey Mouse folders. I have this Mickey looking like he's got some attitude. I have more of a classic Mickey Mouse style here. And I have this Mickey. So these folders, they have pockets. They don't have any prongs or anything like that. But these folders could be great to use for school or for your office. So yeah, stick around for the end of the video and I'll tell you how to enter the giveaway for these 2 items. And these 2 items will be given away separately, so you'll have 2 chances to win. Before I begin, I just want to clarify that this video should in no way, shape, or form be used as a diagnostic tool for eating disorders. This is simply a list to give some signs that the person may be struggling or to help you understand when you may be struggling. If this list sounds like you, if several items on this list even sound like you, then it may be a good idea to go to a screening tool online, to call the National Eating Disorder Association hotline, or to go see a professional who can help you further understand the eating behaviors that you're dealing with. So for the purposes of this video, I am going to be focusing more on the behavioral symptoms of an eating disorder rather than the physical symptoms and physical results of an eating disorder. I think it's really important that we understand that eating disorders are about behaviors and that people can exhibit these behaviors before they show any of the physical signs of having an eating disorder. And it's very important that eating disorders are caught before they become more serious and more life-threatening. The earlier an eating disorder is caught, the easier it is to treat and the more likely recovery is for that person. The behavior number 1 that a person might want to look out for if you think if someone is struggling with an eating disorder is whether this person is skipping a lot of meals or looking for reasons and excuses to not be present at meal times. This is something that I did a lot when I was really deep in my eating disorder. I always could find a reason not to be at home during a meal time. I would go out and be with friends. I would call into work and ask if I could come work extra hours just so I didn't have to be at the table with my family. A person also might want to skip meals because they might feel embarrassed to eat around others. An eating disorder has a lot of shame surrounding it, so that might be another reason someone might try to skip a meal, but this is definitely something to look out for. Another symptom or warning sign of an eating disorder would be if someone goes to the restroom after a meal and is gone for a long period of time. This one is probably pretty self-explanatory, but if a person is using purging behaviors, then they may be absent after a while for a meal. Another symptom and warning sign of an eating disorder could be excessive exercise. So excessive exercise is often used as a purging behavior. People feel like they have to compensate for what they ate by exercising off, working off, burning off those calories that they consumed. And excessive exercise can look like a lot of different things to a lot of different people, but if someone is continuing to exercise even when they're injured or hurt, or continuing to exercise even after their body has indicated to them that they need to rest, then this could definitely be a warning sign that there's something deeper that's going on. Another warning sign that a person might have an eating disorder is that they're absolutely obsessed with the nutritional content of the food that they eat. If they're constantly reading labels, if they're constantly making comments about what foods they're eating or what foods you're eating and what fat content or carbohydrate content or that kind of thing they might have. then that can be a warning sign as well. Number 5 is ritualistic eating behaviors. And a lot of people don't know this, but eating disorders are also closely associated with and often co-occur with OCD. People may cut their food into tiny pieces. People may eat very slowly or chew their food a certain number of times. People may eat their foods in a particular order. So this kind of ritualistic eating behavior are things that interfere with a person's ability to eat for enjoyment, to eat intuitively, or to socialize with the people at the table. And this can indicate that something is very off when it comes to a person's relationship with food. Number 6, if you find someone or if you find yourself hiding a lot of food, that can be indicative of binges. That can also be indicative that a person is trying to hide food to say that they've eaten it. So hiding food is definitely not a behavior that is associated with healthy relationships with food. I know I said I was going to do mostly behavioral symptoms, but I did include this next one as a physical symptom because this was one of the first things that showed up for me. And that is having dry and brittle skin or brittle nails or weak teeth. I actually personally had a time when I had a mint in my mouth and I like bit down the mint, not hard, but just kind of bit down on it. And my two of my front teeth just like part of it crumbled. Like my teeth were so weak that biting on that mint like caused damage to my teeth. And so far it isn't reparable. But yeah, when you're not eating, you can become dehydrated. When you're using behaviors that get rid of your food, then you can become dehydrated. Lack of nutrition can make your hair fall out. It can make your nails weak and brittle. So this is a physical symptom that you can look out for if you start noticing these kinds of changes in a person or in yourself. Number 8 is sensitivity to cold. And let me tell you guys, this is real. When a person is malnourished, they are cold all of the time. I remember a time when I was substitute teaching and I was also in the middle of my eating disorder, and it was like April, but April in the South. So we're talking like 70, 80-degree days. And I would be inside a classroom wearing a heavy coat and sometimes even a hat and gloves and still just painfully bone cold. So noticing that a person might be wearing like jackets or coats when other people are feeling fine and it's a normal or warm temperature, then that person might be someone to be concerned about. Sign number 9 might be poor body image, or making comments about weight or appearance that are negative. So a person might start talking about how they feel like they're fat, or the person might talk about how they wish a certain part of their body looked different than it does. A person might wear a lot of oversized clothing to try and hide their body. I did this a lot. Number 10 is big mood swings or changes in personality or behavior that don't seem like that person, that don't seem that they fit that person. I know I would get really, really angry really, really quickly for really irrational reasons when I was very malnourished. You know, the lack of nutrients that are going to your brain, it just doesn't allow you to function as you normally would, and it definitely affects your mood. So seeing someone who normally acts pretty, stable, then all of a sudden they have all these big, giant mood swings, that's something definitely to look out for as well. Alright guys, so thank you so much for sticking with me through this video, and now I'm going to tell you how you can enter the Disney giveaways. So, there have been several different kinds of Disney news that have recently come out. Several different pieces of information that are pretty big. Number 1 is that Mickey's Runaway Railway opens tomorrow, March the 4th, and I cannot be more excited. I am not going to look at any spoilers ahead of time because I want to be completely surprised when I go back to Disney. But yes, that's coming out. Another piece of Disney news that has recently come out is the news about the sinking of the Jungle Cruise. So if you guys pay any attention to Disney news at all, you will know that the other day the Jungle Cruise sunk. Luckily, like, nobody was hurt because the water's only like knee deep, but people were soaking wet. And this is something new. I haven't ever heard of this ever happening on the Jungle Cruise before. And the third piece of news is a little bit older now, but they are renovating Cinderella Castle in Walt Disney World. And there's some pictures that's been released about that and everything. You can go look it up and see how they're changing it in what ways. Luckily, it doesn't look like anything too drastic, or I consider that lucky anyway. But the way to enter the giveaway is to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and then comment below regarding one of the pieces of Disney news that I just mentioned. What are your thoughts about it? What questions do you have about it? So you can comment about that, or you can comment about what you learned from this video, and I will enter you in the giveaway. And in the next video, I will reveal who the winner is. So be sure to hit the bell so that you know when I make another video, and you can see if you won or not. But thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you are doing very well, and I hope that you're looking out for yourself and taking care for yourself. And don't forget, guys, Mickey says recovery is possible.